Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Seth Meyers, clinical psychologist, and I'm going to talk to you for a little bit today about depression and some of the things that you can do to try to improve your circumstances when you feel depressed. So, first of all, I just need to say that for anyone who feels really seriously depressed, the best thing that you can do is to talk to a physician or a medical professional and start there. You can also talk to a mental health professional for therapy, and that is something that can really help with depression. At the end of this video, I will share a resource that you can use to find services near you. And just a note before we get into this that for anyone who is feeling suicidal, the best thing that you can do is go immediately to your nearest hospital, or in the United States, call 911. But what I want to do is focus in this video today on people who are feeling depressed. And I want to talk about some things that you can say to yourself that can help improve your depression. One of the things that you can do is to say to yourself this: what I say to myself about my depression makes a difference. And I want to repeat that because that is really important. What I say to myself about my depression can make a difference. So, there are a lot of different things that you can say to yourself when you feel depressed. And one of those things that you could say is, I feel like this is going to last forever. I feel like things will never change. I can't handle this anymore. Now, the truth is that those are feelings, and that feelings are not necessarily facts. Feelings can change like ocean waves. They can come and go, they can be big and small. Feelings can change, even though sometimes it feels like the feelings when they're really bad or they're really depressed, even though it feels like they may last forever. It's really important to think about what you tell yourself about your depression. If you tell yourself things about your depression that are really negative, it makes perfect sense that you will start to feel even worse. If you tell yourself that you can't get through this, that this will last forever, that nothing will ever change, that can make you feel even more depressed, as opposed to telling yourself more positive things that you can get through this. And we will talk a little bit more about that. But the most important point is that what you tell yourself about your depression makes a difference. A second thing that you can tell yourself when you feel depressed is the following: I am teachable throughout this process. And I'll repeat that too because it's important. I am teachable throughout this process. Earlier, I mentioned that a lot of times when you feel depressed, the feelings feel like facts. It can feel so strong and powerful, almost that you are certain, you are 100% certain that things will never get any better. But that is not necessarily true. One of the things you can tell yourself when you have those feelings and those thoughts that feel like they are totally true and right and correct, you can tell yourself, hold on, I am teachable through this process. I will be open minded and I will be flexible when I have some of these thoughts and feelings. A third thing that you can tell yourself when you feel depressed is to look back on your life and your history and think about anything that you've been through in the past that was difficult. Most of us have been through difficult times in our past, and we got through those difficult times. So, a third thing that you can tell yourself and you can repeat to yourself when you feel depressed is the following: I have gotten through difficult times before. I have gotten through difficult times before. Now, a fourth thing that you can tell yourself when you feel depressed is something that you may not think of on your own. And this is the following: sometimes I can pleasantly surprise myself. And I'll repeat that too. Sometimes I can pleasantly surprise myself. A lot of times we find ourselves really feeling very sure that we know exactly how we feel, that we know ourselves so well, that we have seen everything before, we have experienced everything before, and we know exactly how this is going to turn out, how it's going to end, how this will happen. But the truth is that sometimes we can surprise ourselves in really good ways even when we feel like things are really difficult and we don't see any solution. We don't have any proof that things will get better later today or tomorrow or later this month. Even when we don't have proof, it can be very helpful to tell yourself this: sometimes I can pleasantly surprise myself. Even when I feel like I want to give up and I can't go on any longer, that I can. I just keep putting one foot in front of the other. I don't give up, even if I sometimes want to, but I keep going. I stay focused and I try to have some faith that maybe, just maybe, there is that little chance that things could get better. And I am willing to wait to see for things to get better. Finally, another thing that you can try to say to yourself to try to improve your depression, to try to feel better when you feel really depressed, is to say to yourself the following: I am striking a balance between being patient with my depression and taking action to try to deal with it. Now, let me repeat that. I am striking a balance between trying to be patient with my depression and at the same time taking action to deal with it. So, when you feel really depressed, a lot of times the depressed feelings won't go away instantly. Sometimes it takes a little time for the depression to pass, and it is possible. As a psychologist, I can share I have watched many patients over the years get better after feeling really depressed. It is possible, even if right now you might not feel like it is. So there is an element where it's important to be patient and to say, I know these feelings might not end right now or tomorrow, but they may end soon. I will be patient. Patience is important. But at the same time, it is important to also strike that balance and take some action, some healthy, positive action each day to try to improve the depressed feelings. Little by little, when you take good, healthy, appropriate actions to try to feel better, you can start to feel a little less depressed. Now, there are things that you can do each day, like trying to get some exercise and some fresh air, going for a walk, trying to talk to a friend that you trust, talk to a therapist is always a really good idea. You can write in a journal or some blank scratch paper about how you feel, and you can look back on life experiences that you've had in the past that were difficult and that you got through. There are things that you can do today. You can also focus on what needs to get done. What requirements do you have today? What are some very specific things where you live? One of the things that you can do is focus on doing something as simple as doing the dishes in your kitchen sink. Does a bathroom need to be cleaned? Clean the bathroom. Is there laundry that needs to be done? Sometimes when you feel depressed, you can get stuck in those feelings, stuck in those depressed thoughts. And it's difficult to get unstuck, to get out from under that depressed cloud. One of the things you can do when you start to be overwhelmed by those depressed feelings and thoughts is to take little actions to do what is required of you today. If it's work related, is there a work email that you need to send? Is there a project that you need to spend the next 30 minutes working on? If you're at home in your off time, is there a closet that could use organizing? Think about any small behavior that you can do that is productive, that is positive, that will improve something. And the more you practice all of these activities, the more over time you can start to feel a little better and start to feel a little less depressed. I also really want to encourage everyone to reach out to mental health professionals, to a medical professional, and talk about this. And I will post in the notes of this video a resource that you can use. SAMHSA.gov, SAMHSA, has a wonderful resource. I hope this video has been helpful. If it has been, please like this video so I know what you find helpful.